Hello again, I am Blunty, and these are the newest EPOS headsets. They've just been launched. They are the H6PRO, carrying much of the same design language and engineering from the GSP 500 and GSP 600 lines, which I've spoken about before on this channel. And as with pretty much all of my headset reviews, you are going to be listening to the microphones on this thing the entire time. So if you're wondering why I sound slightly different to my usual, $500 microphone setup, then that's why. But it'll give you a chance to have a nice long listen to exactly how these microphones sound, and I think you'll probably agree that they do sound pretty good in the context of a gaming headset. But as the Pro name implies, these are meant to be the high-end evolution of the GSP 500 and 600 series. EPOS and the related Sennheiser products that came before are some of my all-time favorite headsets out there. Build quality, comfort, and the excellently clean audio engineering have all consistently impressed me over the years, and I'm expecting good things from these too. Now, they're branded identically, but there's actually two variants, an open back model and a closed back model. I'll dig into the differences there in a moment. They come with two cables, one designed for PC use and the other for ports on your console controllers, and they keep the big smooth volume adjustment dial on the Earcups, so making sort of very fiddle-free and easily just graspable adjustments to your volume, as opposed to way too many headsets out there of little dials you have to try and search for on the bottom of the Earcup. Is that the one? No, that's not the one. Oh, there it is. And yeah, these just go. It makes it so easy. I love that. But rather interestingly, the way this volume control only adjusts the headset down to 5% volume. Apparently, in their materials that go along with the launch, some customers found that being able to turn the volume down to 0 meant they accidentally left it there and couldn't figure out why they weren't getting any sound in their headset, which is incredibly depressing for me, that the engineers behind these things, the incredibly smart engineers, had to compensate for somebody so dumb that the first thing they do, or didn't think of, I'm not getting any audio through my headset. They didn't check the volume. That's not their first path of problem solving, and the engineers had to account for that, and that's just depressing as far as I'm concerned. I mean, what kind of world are we living in when the lowest common denominator that these engineers have to pander to are people so apocalyptically thick that their first instinct is not turn the volume up if I can't hear anything. But in any case, it only goes down to 5%. If you want to mute them, you'll have to do that in the Windows interface volume control thingamabob. Now, one of the cleverer things the engineering team did with these is the microphone is detachable, but it's not detachable in the more common way you will see on gaming headsets, where there's a little 3.5mm jack on the end of a microphone. You just plug it into the bottom and stuff. No, these actually detach magnetically. There's a little sort of clip there with some prongs for the connectivity for the microphone. It just kind of snaps in there and auto-locates nice and easy. They still do have the flip to mute thing, so I'm going to do that now to make sure, find out how noisy that mute is, because some microphones, when they mute, of course, you hear that thunk coming through the thing. So let's try these as I keep talking. Get mute, and hopefully you don't hear a significant amount of handling noise through the mechanical movement of that. But if you want to use these without the microphone, they do provide a little disc cover here. I've got the white one here, but those just clip off and plop back on there, and look at press down a little corner here to pull them back out because they sit nice and flush. So if you do want to use these without the microphone for stylistic preferences, or in the case of me, you use them while streaming and you have a proper, expensive studio mic you would rather use than this thing, then you can get rid of the mic and then slap it back on again when you need to, when you're gaming, when you want a lean back experience, that the desktop microphone is not appropriate to account for, things like that. Or I need or want it when I'm console gaming or out in the world or mobile or whatever. Now, physically, of course, they share much of the design language of the GSP 500 and 600 series that came before them, although a little more streamlined and sort of elegant, perhaps is the word, a little more pro-looking, I guess, even less gamery, if you like. But in doing the redesign, they've also reduced the weight of them by 20%. Now, the GSP 500 and 600 series weren't heavy by headset standards, but I certainly noticed a difference with these. They do feel noticeably lighter and therefore more comfortable for longer periods over time. The Earcups are nice and deep. They've redesigned the ear pad material here with new materials that are supposed to be sort of even more comfortable and much more robust and long lasting. They do come off there if you do need to replace them, if you damage them over time or dog chews them up or something. And I do find them quite comfortable. The Earcups, like I said, are nice and deep, so my ears are sort of free in there, which is kind of important as far as headsets for me are concerned. If the inner side, the speaker grill or whatever, it sort of even lightly touches my ear, I'm very sensitive to that over time. These sit nice and free. The clamping force is, solid enough to keep them on your head when you're moving around, but not so much that they feel like they're pressing into your head. The headband rests nicely on the top of my head there. There's a little bit of padding there, but not too much. Yeah, overall, I would give the comfort a thumbs up. And historically speaking, I have complete confidence in the comfort and long-term durability of what EPOS are doing as well, because I've had several of their headsets, one of which goes all the way back to the beginning of this line. What was the Sennheiser Gaformi, when they used to use the 4 instead of the A in the word game. Hated that. They changed that pretty quickly because they recognized it was dumb. But this is part of that entire lineage as the company sort of spun out into EPOS and then became this. It's I've still got those original headsets from 2014, I want to say. I'll have to double check. 2014? Yes, no, yes. But they still look basically new and they still work perfectly. No damage to them. The cable is fine. The microphone is fine. Earcups are fine. So I'm expecting the same kind of longevity out of these because they are part of the same engineering lineage. And I've never had any reason to doubt the robustness and build quality of EPOS in the past. Now, about that difference between the open back and the closed back ones. The closed back ones are, they're targeted towards focused gamers, people who want sort of to be isolated in their gaming experience. The closed nature of these means it's a very punchy, very intense, very close sound. They're very kicky on the bass and sort of very almost harsh in the highs. Not so much that it's painful, but it's very crisp. The open back ones, though, my strong personal preference, mainly because I like the more open, more naturalistic sound that these give you. They do give you a much more natural sound than these. These sound like, closed headphones when you put them on. These have a much more open and natural, broad soundstage to them. I also like the open back for when I'm doing things like this. With the closed back ones, I can't hear my own voice without using microphone foldback in the earphones, and I don't like doing that because there's always that slight little delay, and I find that very off-putting to hear myself coming through my own headphones. So I like the open back so I can hear myself, so I can moderate my tone of voice when I'm doing recordings or streaming and whatnot. So I appreciate that about the open back as well. But I do, in general, consider the open back to be a broadly superior sound experience. They sound better. They sound more natural. But of course, some people want to be isolated. Some people want sort of a very, very punchy experience. The open back ones aren't quite as punchy, but they do really kick on the bass. They have a nice crack in the mid and high ends there. Compared to, let's say, the studio headphones that I've been using recently, these are the Sennheiser HD560S. These are designed to be studio headphones. They're designed to be extremely accurate across the entire spectrum. They're for monitoring, for video editing. I have been using them for gaming because they do sound exquisite. They are a lot more expensive than these, so they should sound better overall. But these are a decent match for them. They're a little bit punchier in the bass because, again, studio headphones are designed to be balanced, whereas these ones are kind of tuned for a gaming experience. Music sounds fantastic. I've been doing a lot of different types of gaming with them when I'm testing these out. New World and Far Cry, and in particular the gunshots in Far Cry, they really crack and are really crisp and beautiful in these. So in terms of sound quality for gaming headsets, I would put these easily at the top of the stack again, pretty much like their precursors where they have an extremely good reputation for audio quality and they have maintained it here as well. They do both come in various colorways. I've got the white here. What's my notes say? They call it the Ghost White. I don't know why companies have to brand colors like that. They're just white. What's Ghost White about these? Is it more white than a regular white? Is it slightly translucent? No, I don't know. You've got black, which they call Sebring Black. Sebring. Not a word I'm familiar with. Sebring Black. And they've got Racing Green, which is what these are, which are a very, very muted kind of forest green. I don't know whether it even shows up on camera very well, but it's a very, very slight green color with gold highlights, which I quite like. I almost wish I asked for the open back ones in this colorway now, because I like the green more than I thought I would. I asked for the white because I like white in the open back ones, because those are the ones that I would continue to use if I like them. But yeah, I would consider the green, even if you're not usually a fan of green. It's a really lovely green. They do come with a 2-year warranty also, but again, considering my previous experience with Sennheiser stuff, including the old 2014 progenitor of this line of headsets, still going strong, I have no worries about the longevity or durability of these headsets, so I can't imagine many people are going to need that 2-year warranty, but it's there for your peace of mind. So, to wrap up, I would give the H6 Pros my recommendation if you're looking for a good gaming headset. Detachable mic, great sound, detachable cables, flexibility to use it with PC or console, of course, and a distinctly above average microphone for a gaming headset. So your voice chats and things like that are going to be real nice. I'm not sure I would use it for streaming, although I did used to use a headset similar to this, one of the progenitors to this for streaming, but these days you've taken it seriously, you really want to get a proper mic. That's one of the other reasons EPOS designed these with the detachable mic, because they do now sell their own studio kind of desktop microphone type thing as well, designed specifically for streamers. I haven't looked at it. They did offer it to me, but frankly it's very much the same as dozens of other mics out there that do virtually exactly the same thing in exactly the same way and look pretty similar, so I went, I don't really need to see it, but I hear it's quite good anyway. So thank you for watching. I am Blunty. Thank you as always to the patrons scrolling up above there. My camera's, I hope my Elgato cam link isn't freaking out on me. I don't want that thing to die. It's kind of important. All right, I gotta stop recording before everything explodes. All right, I turned green permanently. Thanks for watching. Thanks to the patrons. I am Blunty, and we'll catch you next time. Oh, I've frozen. Oh, no.